I'm a little concerned that people are forgetting that Matt was a real young man. To make him larger than life is really unfair to him and to the situation. For me, to turn him into a symbol is not going to happen. I was with him all those years before. I know that he was not the perfect child, and all the childhood drama and issues that young kids get into, it was all Matt's life. To make him something else, to make him perfect or something that he was not, is just unfair to Matt, and not only Matt, but other members of the gay community, young people in particular, people Matt's age who've gone through the same kind of trials and tribulations that Matt did, the prejudice and the bigotry and the open hate and those kinds of things. It's just unfair to acknowledge that Matt did not also experience that. Actually, he was a very difficult baby, not a textbook baby, colicky, cried a lot, allergic to milk, bees and grass. It was an interesting childhood that he had. He loved people, but he loved the company of adults more than his peers. And I think that's called the first child syndrome, where they talk all the time and are used to talking to their parents' friends more than they are their own friends. And he certainly related to that. He became very interested in politics at a very early age. At age 7 was his first campaign. He stuffed envelopes and hung them on the doors, or I don't know, whatever kind of footwork the soldiers do. He loved politics and was very involved. He even told the woman that cut his hair who she should vote for, and they all won. So he was very proud of that, and she said, "I'll listen next time." And then when he could really vote, oh, that was an amazing experience for him. When he moved, the first thing he did was get his voter registration card. Actually, one of the things found in his wallet when they found Matt. I think if you met Matt today, you would be most impressed by his smile. He'd be 31 now, so he probably wouldn't have his braces, but if you'd met him then, he was still wearing a lot of silver in his mouth, but his smile was enormous and drew you in immediately. Matt was very opinionated. Actually, that caused me to worry more about him than his sexuality. I was afraid someday he was just going to share some opinion that really ticked somebody off, and that would be a punch in the nose to Matt. We moved overseas when Matt was 16, junior in high school, and he had to finish his high school at a boarding school actually he went to Switzerland, because where we lived in Saudi Arabia had no American high school, so all the kids, once they left the 9th grade, had to go to a boarding school. Matt was 18 and a freshman in college in North Carolina when he decided that he would call me, and I was in Saudi, to let me know that he was gay. I asked him in this conversation why he'd waited so long to tell me, and he was sort of flummoxed that I knew before he knew, but it was great. We were all accepting. Maybe we actually even all knew somewhere that, he was gay, but there was never a question of rejection. But losing Matt and losing him in that way for those reasons just spurred something, I think, in all of us, that it was just so unfair, so ridiculous, so inhumane that I think I took on a role I ordinarily would not even have dreamed of. There's the Judy before and the Judy after. I'm an introvert off the scale until you get me on this subject, and then I become more vocal and maybe even agitated. Colleges in particular, when I first started speaking, I could see in the kids, the students, the young people, their faces and their eyes, they were so afraid, and certainly did recognize that what happened to Matt could also happen to them. They were very trepidatious about what their future held. But now what I see in students' eyes is an empowerment, a sense of entitlement, that they know certain basic rights are being denied to them, and they're not going to allow that to happen. I think the reason that I can still do this is that not that many things have changed. I plan to be out here in people's faces until it is fixed. There's no reason for basic civil rights to be denied any American in this day and age, and the fact that it still is the gay community that can't marry, pays taxes, but doesn't get the benefits, those kinds of things. Don't ask, don't tell. Could there ever be anything more ridiculous than that? I'm just going to be here until it's fixed, and that's what motivates me.